Hello, I'm Sean Heath, and welcome to part 2 of my entry in the Great Guitar Unofficial Contest of 2020, where I try to still catch up with people who chose to kick guitar. Boil it. Oh no! So in the last episode, we glued up the pieces of wood for the body and the neck. We did a little bit of shaping, and now here I'm using the masking tape and super glue trick that's Ben Crow's so famous for, and I'm going to do a little bit more shaping. Do not try to freehand route your neck.
You didn't mean all those sighs. The night that you told me those little white lies. I try, but there's no forgetting when evening I sigh, but there's no regretting in spite of my tears. The devil was in your heart, but heaven was in yours.
Not good. So now that the neck pocket and control cavity are routed, it's time to do the final bit of rough cut. So what I've got here is the neck, a nice thickness, and then it comes down here, and then everything is nice and symmetrical. So I'm really proud of all this. Then I got to here, and yeah, this side's thicker than this side. So where I placed the template wasn't quite right. I was off a little. Actually, I purposely did this. I purposely moved it over because in routing I get myself a little problem right there. You can just barely see it, but you can feel it. And so to overcome that, I just moved the template just a little off to the side without really considering what the consequences would be, and now I have this unsymmetry here, so sucks. So I'm gonna clean up the sides, do it over again. It's very thick, so I'm just gonna flip it over, do the truss rod channel again. Fortunately, I was able to fix everything, and now I have a neck width here of 41. So I was going for 42. It went down 1 millimeter. No biggie. Here I'm marking out and measuring where the truss rod channel should be located, and I just got my router back from Bosch, so from the repair shop. They did a great job of getting it back to me really quickly.
I was crazy over Daisy, she's a girl I knew. She went crazy too, like all sweethearts do. I proposed to her last night and she said, ask my pop. But my proposal must have been an awful flop. I popped the question to her pop, but I won't pop no more. I should have stopped before I popped, 'cause he got awful sore. The next thing I remember, I was flying through the door. I popped the question to her pop, and he popped me on the jaw. Little Daisy drove me crazy every time we kissed, but her father's fist soon made me desist. Soon I met another girl and popped the question.
Okay, now everything is whittled out here, and let's see how the truss rod fits up. Let's see, back here, fits down nice and flush here. Wait a minute. Oh no! It's not sitting flush. What the crap, man? I don't know if you can see this, but as you look down there, it's just a little bit proud here in the front, whereas it sits just slightly below the surface, not the rest of it. So after wasting a good amount of time sanding and chiseling away at this to make room for the miniature welds and stuff here, the lines like this weld right there, I realized that it's just this freaking nut slot isn't deep enough. I finally measured the dang thing, and yeah, it's just a little too high. So I'm gonna round it out again. And let's check the fit. No. Oh no! It's still... No, never mind. It's sitting pretty much flat with it. I think that's good. I went ahead and taped up the truss rod now, and it's ready for gluing up the fretboard to it. On the reference from Leo Losmanato, I'm going to use this express glue. Yeah, I hope it's not so express that I can't friggin' do it in time. So today's going to be a jig making day, and the reason I screwed up the neck last time so bad was because I was doing it freehand without any kind of a router table, and so it was rocking on top a little bit and bit into the wood some, and yeah. So let's build the router table. So what I'm going to do here is line this up so that I know that it's going to fit in when I flip it upside down. 13 centimeters. Since it's 70 centimeters wide, I'm going to mark at 35. So now we're going to trace this in the middle. So I've drawn the outline of the router base. Now I'm going to cut it out. Maybe I'll do the bottom too, just to get a spot in the middle. I've got two blades that I'm going to be using with this. This is the BOF on here, the 308 BOF from Bosch, and I'm going to do the curves with that, and the BF I'm going to switch to for doing this straight line straight across. I'm quite a ways away from the line, as you can see, but I'm going to go ahead and clean it all up with files. Sitting below the surface. Yes, they are. Yes, 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 yes. Are you? Sitting a little lopsided, it looks. Okay, so yeah, not gonna work. So I went over to the neighbor's house and asked if I could use his vise, and I opened those up, and now they sit flush with the surface. So now I'm going to try to attach the base to my new table rod surface. So here it is. I'm really happy with it. I've got, it's not perfect, but it's everything I really wanted. I'm not hitting anything when I glide over stuff. I've got full access to the router bit. I've got good depth here, which was really important. And yeah, it's a nice gliding surface. So if you want to build this, get the Baltic birch. It's I talked to the guy at the hardware store, and he said that the birch is definitely more stable than the beech. This is the black one. I got it in 9mm, and yeah, just try to follow what I did, and I think you'll be happy. Now we're going to build a fret slotting jig. So here's the neck. I marked it out on all the foot positions so that I could start cutting it. And yeah, I noticed beforehand all this tear out up here, and while I was doing it, I didn't really realize what was happening. But yeah, the effect is pretty terrible. On the bottom it's totally fine. I did perfect. I got the radius perfect, but this one, the radius is kind of slanted now towards the base side. So because of all these mistakes with the fretboard, I get the honor now of tearing the fretboard off and doing it all over. Right along in the category of I've never done this before, along with never having made a neck before, I've also never removed a fretboard before. I looked at a couple of YouTube videos and this is how they did it, so hopefully this is right. I'm going to just heat it up and tear the glue, and hopefully the glue softens, and I'm going to just pry the fretboard loose. I'm going to use my Tsubi, whatever this Japanese saw is, that is the rip saw, because it's nice and thin. So that's been about 5 minutes. Let's see how I'm going to fail on my first try here. Getting it free. Wow, can't believe I'm actually making progress. And this is exactly why I didn't use Type Bond 3 to glue the fretboard on. I was afraid I'd have to take it off. And I don't know how Type Bond 3 plays. So I'm glad I used the Express glue. Yeah. Now the reason I chose to remove the fretboard this way instead of just grinding it back is because I was just afraid of tearing up the truss rod if I did that. Whether I do it with a router or a belt sander or whatever, I didn't want to risk touching the truss rod when I go through the fretboard. So I figured it'd be easiest to start with a nice thick piece of fretboard here. I can handle it the best, it's the strongest. Then if I start thinning it out first, it might break when I try to pull on it.
Goodbye to winter, I'll see you next year. Hello to springtime, gee, I'm glad you're here. Listen, you flivver, get yourself outside. Come on, my sweetheart, take me for a ride. Oh, spring is here now. Oh, skies are very clear now. Oh, love is near now.
There it is. So, now how do I get the glue off the saw? And here's the nice fretboard. Nice and bowed. Now, that's okay. I didn't care about this anyway. So, for any of you curious about it, I was able to get most of it off. All the glue off with some acetone. And, so yeah, this side looks fine. This side has discolored, but I can't feel anything on it. So, I'm pretty sure it's actually all gone. This is just the discoloration probably from the heat of the iron. So yeah, kind of puts a dent in my resale value of this used saw blade, but I wasn't really worried about that anyway. So I'm gonna remove the glue now.
chocolate bars, milk from dairies, motor cars, straw and huckleberries, twinkling stars, Johns and Marys, strolling up and down the park. In the sky, moonlight hovers, on the bed, soft and downy covers, on the street, lots of lovers, finding places nice and dark. There's one thing on which we agree. Spring is very young, so are we. Ooh, frogs are groaning.
Well, that wraps it up for this episode. I've got to wait for the neck to finish gluing up again. And then I'll go ahead and do the lines and the fretboard. And that brings me to the next point. I actually made this jig for cutting fret slots. Here's my little test neck. It's set up a little bit wrong for you, but I'm using since I'm right-handed, I use the saw, hold it with my right hand, press it up against the block with my knuckles here. Then I can just do this, and release it, and I can move it forward. And of course I didn't cut for very long, so it's not very deep, but there's the first cut, pretty clean. So, and then this cut that I just now did. So yeah, I'm gonna do a lot more of these little test cuts and practice some more and hitting lines and stuff, and then next time you'll see me doing it on that one. So thanks for watching, and tune in for next episode.